Hello, my name is Henry Franco. I'd like to introduce you to my new client, Saul. Saul came in and looking for a new style, so what we're going to be doing on Saul is releasing this proportion of his hair using some of our JATAI razors and trimming around his ears with some of our shears and doing a classic taper on Saul. So maybe we should begin and see what we can do to Saul.
What I see in Saul right now is he's got a lot of bulk up on top. We just have to trim around the edges to balance it out all the way through. There we go, applying the Blade Glide to make our work a little bit easier. It's good for pre-perming, pre-coloring, and it gives more conditioning properties to the hair. It also changes the porosity of the hair, opening up the cuticle, so moisture stays much longer, softening the hair. It also extends the life of the blades. We're going to start out with the ears, put a little foundation. In order to be able to create around the ear, you have to pull it over in front, and then you're doing like a question mark. You're making like a question mark coming around the ear. Pulling the ear, staying close to the head, close to the ear. I don't want to go too high because we want to maintain the fullness there, see? I'm going to take my hand and come up and over, okay? So right there, I can't get that perfect line. It's unsteady. So if you take your hand and come up over the top and you come straight down, you're able to get a straight line. Up and over. The Feather Switch Blade Shears, Model 75, the unique feature of this scissor is the blades are disposable, so when it gets dull, you can switch out the blade, and there is a lifetime guarantee on the frame.
Okay, so now we framed it out. We know where we're going to be going. Now we're going to come back. And like I said, Saul has a bulk amount of hair up on top. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting his hair like on about a 10 degree to a 20 degree. Okay, so now here we got the razor. And by doing that, I'm cutting it down at the same time. I'm cutting hair off, but I'm also working with the hair to make it more pliable. DX models have all stainless steel, heavier in weight and have more balance, and all the razors have a detachable blade holder. So what I'm doing right here is just touching the ends and taking that razor, I'm hitting it just a little bit, a little bit more sculpting, just tipping it around, just not really cutting real deep, I'm just cutting the edges off. Now I'm going to be working with the planes and front planes up there, as you can see. So now we're overextending. The overextending meaning pulling in the opposite direction. We're pulling the hair in the opposite direction in order to maintain the hair to come back, because we want to maintain the fullness of it. And pulling it to, say, a 45-degree angle, pulling it back up, and then going to be cutting on a 45. Because you've overextended it, you won't have that tendency to cut it short, but still taking into consideration that you have to cut it on the planes of the head. You'll see those little lines. When you see those lines, or there's the spears that are left in the haircut. Little angles that look like a spear. So then you'll come back and touch those spears to make it flow. So what I like to do now, knowing that Saul will be coming in, I like to just touch a little bit of the ends, tip the ends with a little bit of a blender. You don't dig in, you just touch the ends. Still, not just whacking, but staying with the 45. If you're going through the whole haircut again, but you're doing it with the blenders to make it a little bit more pliable for him to be working with at home. And for the next time he comes in, I already have my guidelines. So as you notice, when I was blending, there are 3 planes in the back of the head. 1, 2, 3. There's the 4th. Comes the occipital bone. So in order to balance the haircut, what we're going to do, it's not bring the taper up so high. We'll keep the taper kind of low to give it that balance in through here, so you're maintaining the fullness all the way through. So as you can see that Saul in the previous haircut, they cut it a little bit too short right here. So what I'm going to suggest to Saul is for him to let this grow out. We'll let this grow out so it doesn't have this little Dennis the Menace look. And then we'll have, as you look at his profile like this, you'll have this little bit more of continuity right in through here, this portion right in through here. We see a lot of lines where they cut it straight across like so, with line coming across. Best way not to get a line, don't make it. So what I'm going to be using is like a number 2 blade in order to get a little bit closer. I mean, you could do it with the shear work, but this is much easier. And again, I'm working with the planes. And the reason why I use a number 2 blade, because I know that it will be all the same length. You don't want to create hard lines in it. So I'm not going in there really deep with this tool. I'm just using the little tips, you know, so I'm just using the little corners of the tool. Okay, so now I'm going around the ears, cleaning up. And then I come back and I'm able to do the real finishing work because I've just done the rough work. It gives you a lot longer life on your blade by slicing it. It's like slicing bread. Stretching the ears using the toe of the blade, and we're coming straight down, not in, but straight down. Men's you do straight down. Women's they come in on an angle. You come back to do the second haircut. We'll blow dry there, see what the finished product's going to look like, and it'll also draw out a lot of lines. If it does, then you go back and you tip it and pull out those little lines. You can still see I'm still using the same angles in which I cut the hair. I'm not just whacking. Yeah, always find a few little hairs that need to be trimmed out. So what we've done here is the classic wash and wear haircut for Saul.